What's good, boys? Welcome to today's market recap. I did not take a trade today. However, there's two possible setups. One would have been an A plus setup if ES didn't take out the draw first, and the other, or it would have been an S tier. It was super, super nice. And the other, I would give it about an A. And I'll go over why it wasn't like an S tier or A plus in my eyes in a second. So coming into this morning, let's go over to bar replay. We were kind of in this zone right here. We had 15-minute intermediate lows. We also had LR above, London highs, Asia highs, unfilled 15-minute, and then at Asia highs there was a unfilled 1 hour gap, so super nice draw. And there also was these, I think, 1 hour lows right here, or 4 hour lows. Yeah, we had these 4 hour lows, then we had these like 4 hour intermediate lows, and then this daily fair value gap in case we wanted to shit the bed, but we did not end up doing that. So I was really just focused on this range right here. So that being said, I was looking for manipulation some way. If we got manipulation higher, taking out all this LR, taking out this London high, Asia high, hourly gap, possibly even this 15-minute gap all the way up here, I would have, oh, there was also this 15-minute as well. But I would have went ahead and took some shorts. Would have had no problem with that. It looked super, super nice. However, let's see what we ended up doing. We kind of manipulated higher at first, and then we came down and shit the bed. And when we shit the bed, we created a SMT with these 15-minute intermediate lows, which was super nice draw, super good SMT right there. We also had a SMT with this accumulation zone right here, so we had an SMT with these lows. Okay, give me 1 second. And then we also had an SMT with the market open lows. So triple SMT. So that's why I say this setup is an S tier, because this was beautiful. Look at ES. ES didn't take out any one of those. Okay. Triple SMT, and then we got a 3-minute IFVG right here, and this was a beautiful PDI, one of the best setups that you could honestly ask for. However, the reason why it was invalid, and I would give it about a C if you entered, was because our draws are up here. Well, look at the ES. ES already took the draws. It took the hourly gap. It took London highs. It took out, there was a 15-minute gap right here on ES as well. Right here, so it took out all three of them. So at that point in time, we had bearish SMTs going against our bullish narrative. This trade did end up playing out, as you can see. Kind of took a little bit to get there, and then we ended up taking it out. But that's the reason why that would be invalid. Otherwise, if ES did not take out those draws, this was it's literally what you look for on a day-to-day basis. However, since ES took out the draws first, obviously it was invalid. And then we were kind of range bound for a little bit. And let me go over the second trade. There was really only two trades I took. That one was it was a 3-minute at 9:45, and then there was a 1-minute at 10:36 that you guys were asking me about as well. So what did we end up doing? We ended up having this accumulation zone. My bearish bias then flipped bullish because we inversed this hourly gap, and then we also inverse this 4-hour gap as well. So I should have kept that in the back of my mind. However, I wouldn't say necessarily in my head, but I was still kind of looking for possible short setups because we were still inside of this giant 1 hour bearish gap right here. So we weren't really seeing no rejection from it at all. We did open up this 15-minute and we didn't inverse it. We almost did, and we hit it. And then we also came down and hit this 5-minute discounted fair value gap as well. So this actually looked pretty nice. I didn't end up taking this. Again, I would give it about an A. And the reason for that being is I didn't really want too long inside of this giant hourly. However, we did leave this 15-minute unfilled right here, and these highs that were relative to that unfilled fair value gap. So we ended up getting a tap into this 5-minute, and then I believe it was a 1-minute IFVG out of it. It looked pretty clean. Here it is right here. We inversed both of these 1-minute for value gaps. Your entry point would have been right here at the candle closure. Stops at the lows, or if 52 points was way too much for you, you could have just put it at like CE of the wick for a better RR. And then you could have either targeted just the highs up here, and then also this 15-minute. However, the reason why I faded this was because we had an SMT at these highs, rejecting this 15-minute for value gap on ES. So in my personal eyes, even though the draw, like we had LR stacked up, whatever the case may be, I believe 10 a.m. did open low. Well, here's 10 a.m. open right here, and then we ended up putting the SMT and then shitting this up. So In my personal discretion, I didn't really like this. However, just looking at it like this, it does look pretty clean. We came down and hit the 5 minute. Now, if ES would have came down and swept out this low, see, we have relatively equal lows right here, and then we created a third relatively equal low. Or these might have even been equal lows. Okay, they were equal lows. I would have wanted to see ES at least take out this area and then create an SMT. That would have gave me a little bit more conviction to enter. But since we didn't have the SMT, I don't need an SMT to enter. But in this specific sense, we were kind of just chopping around. And then we finally got like, yeah, it was a clean 1 minute. But I just personally didn't like it. I faded it. I was fine with sitting out. But it was a good play overall. Kind of got chopped around a little bit. And then we did end up coming and hitting TP. If you would have set your stop loss to see the wick in your TP to the unfilled 15 minute, you would have got a 1.78 RR. So W trade, but just not my favorite. It could have been a little bit better. Maybe we created another SMT down here, but I guess since these SMTs were already in place, there was no reason to come down and resweep out this low. So yeah, with that being said, that's the reason why I faded it. This SMT up here, we were rejecting this 15 minute on ES, and then we were also still inside this giant hourly gap. So it wasn't my favorite, but again, it wasn't bad at all. So if you guys did take this, W trade, W discretion. But I personally just didn't like it. It is what it is. But yeah, I know some of you guys in Discord took this. It was pretty good, and that was really all I seen for the rest of the day. We did get a pullback right here after an accumulation zone, and then a nice inversion out of it. However, we didn't pull back into a 5 minute gap or anything. We ended up, oh, I guess we did pull back into this 5 minute gap. I don't know. It just wasn't the cleanest either. Until late in the day, we had this unfilled 5 minute. So if I really want to see price super bullish, I want to see it take out that 5 minute. But yeah, I guess if you would have entered off this, your trade idea could have looked something like this. Pretty bad RR, not gonna lie. 0.7, but I mean, it would have smacked in about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Or if you wanted to target this accumulation zone, I don't even know if this ended up playing out. You would just went break even at the unfilled 5 minute, and then let's see if this would have ended up working. This would have ended up working as well. So yeah, if you guys would have went break even at this 5 minute right here, this doesn't look too bad either. I guess we did get a pull back into this 5 minute gap. I didn't see that. I thought we inversed it. Kind of edged inversing it, and then yeah, hit this order block and rejected it. So this trade wasn't that bad either. I'd give this about a B plus just because the time of the day. And but yeah, other than that, that was all for today. Honestly, for a Monday, we did have news today at 10. News didn't really do anything, but for a Monday, it did look pretty good. So honestly, even though I didn't take a trade, price action does look pretty clean to start off December. If you guys took a dub today, hell yeah. If you guys took a loss, whatever, it is what it is. You have all month to build buffer, and then next month, which is next year, you can go ahead and with your buffer take that payout. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Free Discord is in the description. I live traded on there this morning. And then if you want to up your allocation, code LoeGpa on Lucid Trades. Link is in the description for that as well. So go check that out, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.